Do you have a quick broker moment for us today?
Oh, wow.
Okay, you can hold this. I'll edit it together later,
yeah.
so.
He'll make it look good.
I love coming up here right after
Right.
Adriana. So many great points, and the fact that they and Supreme are such great team members for you. You have an incredible team. And I'll share with you a conversation Scott and I had this morning. Had an agent in one of my other offices, communicating with him, dealing with a deaf seller. And he is going to have to hire an interpreter in order to deal with this seller. And he's going on how he doesn't know if he wants to deal with them. And it's like, be real careful, guys. You can't say no. That's fair housing. That's discrimination. Hiring the interpreter is one of the options he has. There's also a lot of other things can be done. I'm sharing that with Scott, and within 30 seconds, he sends me the name of an agent that he had in one of the Texas offices who started KW Sign, which is one of the community groups within the company dealing with people that know sign language. And I was able to forward that information on to this other agent who's going to hopefully reach out to him and get this solved. Guys, the network that you have within this company is huge. There's no one else out there that has it.
In terms of that very topic, our own Jenny Gallaudet
I was just gonna say.
is fluent in sign language, and
Why am I not surprised?
her great-grandfather or something established the American Sign Language University here in the United States.
Yeah.
How's that awesome?
Yeah.
If I had known that, I could have put this agent in touch with her.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys didn't know, 5% of the United States population actually identifies as deaf or hard of hearing. One of the two. And then there's the whole population.
Spouse you ask is
Correct. Richard, that is selective hearing. And my children struggle with that. But if we go and look at it, there's actually a huge section of the population that is underserved. And that's why Bernardo and his team put together KW Signs, because they realized that there was a huge need out there to communicate effectively with people who aren't able to speak or hear effectively. And it's, it all came together pretty neat.
I'll tell you, it's one of the incredible things about the company are the communities that they've set up. You know, a friend of ours, Steve Ronkoff, who's in this area, just set up KW Golf. He came up with the idea and within 30 days got the approval from International, got it out there, and he texted me the other day the volume of business that they have already referred to each other within the first month that this community was open. The point is, if any of you have any idea for an underserved community that you think would fit within KW, there's the opportunity for you to reach out to the company and develop that kind of network. That's how you grow your business, is socially. You know, you do that locally, but put on that really big thinking cap, and how can you expand that for networking around the country?
And then you shared with me this morning that we heard from our friends who are at NAR about an update regarding contracts.
Yeah. If you're not aware of it, ever since the NAR settlement was first announced, I've been working on a whole lot of customized paperwork for us, taking the exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, which I don't think the one from FAR is all that great, but I've customized that for us, all the ancillary documents that go with it, and then I put it all on the shelf because I started realizing that FAR and our boards are all going to have to redo their documents. Well, I reached out to people within our family who are in the know with that type of stuff, and the word that I got back is the end of this month, FAR is scheduling to release all of the new documents that will be needed because of the NAR settlement. and this continues to what I was talking about last week. How many of you have gone online and taken your ABR designation already? Really? Guys,
It is free 99 right now.
NAR is offering your ABR, Accredited Buyer Representation Agreement, for free. This is going to be a major change for every agent out there, is how you work with buyers, how you explain to buyers what your value proposition is. And Friday in Stat's presentation, and I hope that you are all there, the ending probably 20 minutes to half hour of that presentation is about working with buyers and showing your value proposition for working with buyers.
Yeah.
You have to understand that.
So while you will be tired from Red Day, make sure you're there. We have comfy seats in the theater that you can relax and take a bunch of really good information in.
Richard, you might want to tell them what ABR stands for.
The Accredited Buyer Representation Agreement. It is an accreditation just like GRI or CRS. It's one of the, to me, it was one of the first designations that Gail and I got many years ago. And I just renewed it again as your broker. It's kind of like different than what you guys do, but when you're at home, sit in front of your computer, get the designation. It is incredible information for you that you're going to need.
Give up
But-
TikTok for 3 days and just get your ABR.
Well, yeah, you know, it's, I want to say it's 7 or 8 different segments. It's like an hour each segment. You don't have to do it all at once. You know, I did it over a couple of days. And guys, you need to learn this. These are the big changes. As soon as these new documents come out, they will be scheduled pretty well daily in all of the offices. You've got to learn this stuff because most of your agents out there aren't. There's nobody talking to those people.
Yeah, June.
One of the things that Scott came back with, and if you're not aware, Scott spent the last couple of days in the Austin area with KW. That was the leadership masterminds. And Steve Murray, who is Real Trends, and he's the guy that when anybody wants to do anything in real estate, that's who they go to. And one of the questions was, where do you see risk in the industry? Who do you see getting out of the industry in the next couple of years? And his answer was all of the independents out there. All of the people that, you know, the agents that over the years, when I get a phone call from them, Will, I'm going to be leaving KW. I decided I'm opening my own brokerage. And it's like, good luck, and our door's always open for you.
Yeah.
But those people that have grown the small mom and pop businesses, who don't have the support that you do, who don't have the information, who don't have the training that you guys get, those are the people that are sitting there now going, what the hell do I do with all these changes? How am I going to handle it? What am I going to do? So if you know any of those people, put them in touch with this guy.
Yeah.
Because we can be their lifeline for them. But my point to you is, look at all of the realtors. And my guess would be that 50% of all of the realtors in our board are not with the big national companies. They're with the smaller independents.
It's about 65% of them altogether.
They are not getting this information. And the result of that, your jobs are going to get a whole lot worse.
Well, it's going to get
Not
harder. for
worse.
you.
It's going to get a whole lot more challenging,
Yeah.
I should say, because you are going to be doing more of the transaction than you ever have before. You're going to be explaining what the laws are to these people. Right? One of the articles that just came out from the NAR conference that's going on in DC just ended. The question is, who's going to have to police all of these changes? And you saw what the answer was? The MLSs.
Oh, boy.
NAR is not going to do anything to police it because they're too big. They just pushed it all down to the MLSs.
Who's going to push it down to
Who's
us?
going to push it down to us? Which means that one of the rules, because of the change that came about, is if you work with a buyer and you show that buyer a home, you have to have a signed representation agreement with that buyer. What happens when you have a listing and the other agent is showing up with a buyer? Are we supposed to ask that agent, do you have a representation agreement with the buyer? Because I don't know. We'll find out. But this is where we're going to have to police ourselves. And it's kind of like if we
Lot of
don't,
lawsuits
if,
and a lot of this
well,
stuff.
it's kind of like always, guys, and it's always been my attitude when you call me and an agent did this, 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 and this, and it's like, call the board, get the paperwork to file an ethics violation with them. Because if we don't police ourselves, somebody else, like a judge somewhere or a bunch of attorneys, is going to come in and police us.
Yeah.
We've got to do a better job of looking after our own industry. And that's what I want you guys to be, the best of the best out there.